Hello, welcome to Master Powercast. In the past, when we've done the good, the bad, and the makeover, it's all pertained to mini comics. But this time around, we figured we'd change it up a little bit and focus on an episode of Filmation. This one, in fact, is going to be episode 50, Temple of the Sun, featuring our favorite one-shot character in this franchise, Nepthu. I know Tyler's definitely over there agreeing with that statement. But with this, we're going to go through the episode itself. We're going to talk about it. And then along the way, or maybe after the fact, we'll talk about if there were some good things about it. Obviously, highlight the bad things. Highlight the bad things. And then, of course, make it over and see if we can do Nepthu some justice here. I said try to find some good things. Because, anytime you see the good, the bad, and the makeover, just know that the general opinion between the two of us is that, yes, this is not a particularly good episode or mini comic, or if we try anything else with this down the road. But is there anything you would like to say about this before we start? You remember the first time you watched it? Is this on a VHS tape? You read it?
No, as far as I know, I don't think it was ever. It was never released on VHS. It wasn't until the DVD release. And I just like this episode fucking sucks. This character's fucking terrible. And it was just a one and done, like, all right, well, I'll never watch this piece of shit again. And then when Nightlight announces that Neptu's gonna be part of the classics line, when he's holding everyone hostage over, you better sub up, otherwise you want me to get this character. By the way,
do you remember specifically like who you really wanted, but you also had to get Nepthu in order to get them?
I can't remember which way. It was like that with every year. Like when it was just a few figures, and they would sell out, and then when they started the subscription, that's when you had to commit to. You had to sub up for the entire year. You had to lock yourself in whatever was being made available, even if you didn't. You only would find out maybe about 4 or 5, maybe 6 figures. Mm-hmm. And just go in, blindfolded the rest of the year. And when it was announced that he was one you were going to have to buy, I mean, I was so fucking mad. And then to learn that his justification was, there's a fan base out there. and I will never, ever forget it. That he was on Roast Google, Val's podcast, and Val called him out, and I'm like, now, you say there's a fan base of Nepthu. Like, what fan base are you talking about? Even Val, in a polite way, said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he just, no, there's some fans out there. Like, bullshit. I swear to God, he was one of the biggest snake oil salesmen. Again, the beginning of the end in terms of bad decision making for Master of the Universe. That was the first, like in Spaceballs. You're surrounded by assholes after that. One asshole after another is making all the decisions, whether it's cartoons, movies, toys, whatever. He was the first of many assholes to come. So we can thank the trend, starting with that dipshit.
It all starts with Nepthu.
And that wasn't just that one. It was the Fighting Foemen. It was having to buy deluxe, like 3-pack figures that, those are nice, but I don't need them. And you had no choice to fork over like $60, $70 for figures you were not that interested in. Mm-hmm. And that's what you had to do, because that's what Nightlight deemed. If you want to get if you want to get Too Bad or Ninjor or any other prominent character that you've yet to get, you got to buy my ideas and my shitty mini comics. I won't forget that either, man. Him being I think it was at San Diego when they were doing their big panel, and says, we're going to give the fans what they've always wanted. And he's like, we're going to give you new figures. Like, I don't recall any fans asking for new figures. And that's when they announced that they create a character wave where they come up with all these shitty ideas, where Mighty Spectre and fucking Psychop and Sir Laser-Lot and all these, other than Drago Man, show up, and Fearless Fog Talk, that was cool too. But that, and saying we're gonna finish out that mini comic story that we never got. I thought, oh my God, they must have the scripts to it. We're gonna get this. No, we didn't get that. So again, I said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it tomorrow. Fuck you.
Well, let's keep the good times rolling, man, and jump into episode 50 here. Temple of the Sun, story by Jeffrey O'Hare, teleplay by Patrick Duncan, and then directed by Lou, what's his name?
That Billy, what's his name?
We don't. I didn't want to butcher it. Kachabas is what I'm going to go with. Let us know in the comments down below what you think the correct pronunciation is.
The next thing we'll find out, James like, I had dinner with him last week.
Probably,
you know.
But our episode starts out. We're out here in the desert, in the sands
of time, yeah.
And we have this guy. He's walking around, and he's like, no food. And I think of the Ultimate Warrior promo: no sleep, no
food. Probably smells like onions.
Yeah. No sleep, no food, no nothing. Just maniacism.
No nothing. So he's crawling, and then after all this time, he's spotted it, the temple. So you have to wonder too, like, what? How long has his quest been? I mean, that's kind of the precedence number one, because Sands of Time, they mention it later on in the episode. So clearly people, like, there is a knowledge of this location.
Yeah, and it's a place that's used a lot. And it's referenced in multiple episodes. It's a setting in multiple episodes. I'm just going to say this right now. This episode really feels like it was sloppily put together.
I would,
from dialogue to story to concept, execution, everything is so fucking sloppy. Like, and we'll get once we get into, like, okay, so there's a germ, there's a seed of a good idea, but we'll cover that at the end. But this, again, the show is not known for continuity for the most part. So I just feel like they're just kind of winging it. Scripts are coming in as the series is, they weren't really stopping proofreading the continuity between episodes for the most part. So I can forgive, like, why there's, why this guy just seems to be wandering through the desert looking for a place that is referenced in so many other people, other episodes, and people actually live in the Sands of Time, like in Double-Edged Sword, and things like that too. So it's just like it's just kind of a random one-off opener of, like, oh, I've been traveling for so long. Well, where the hell you come from?
Yeah,
it's not a forgotten place at location in terms,
right. So he finds the temple. He buzzes in. He falls through the floor. And then he knows what he's looking for. He's looking for the scarab. He knows that much as well. And he happens upon it after he tosses a bunch of other.
You see it. There's a Black Star statue in the background here, right there.
I never noticed that.
Yeah,
because I have watched this episode before in the past. But he does find the scarab here and holds it aloft. He was like, "Well, I gotta take it to the sun. That's how this shit works." So he holds it up, and he turns from this weak bearded man into what you see here, Neptune, which
for something that, as we'll find out, is deemed as a source of good.
Yeah, that doesn't.
I'm like, wait a second here.
Yeah,
cut. Like,
good in what way? Like, it doesn't.
I guess someone could say, well, any item that's used for good could be used for evil purposes. Sure,
that's true too, I suppose.
But it's, again, this needs to be cut and dry. This is a 22-minute episode. You cannot be just flip flopping when it's convenient for you. You got to think about the dialogue you're saying. You got to give some very specific context. You can't just say whatever the fuck you want and just feel like, it don't matter. That's one of the many missteps of this episode. Is just we're throwing shit out there and just don't pay attention. There's nothing to see here. Just watch it. Oh look, and even that is not impressive at all.
Yeah, but with the scarab, Neptune says he's going to rule the universe.
Yeah.
So we transition over to the Royal Palace. We have Man-at-Arms here with Adam, and there's a communicator device that Man-at-Arms has invented. He's reaching out to Orko, who's at Castle Grayskull. We transition to Castle Grayskull. Orko's there. He hears Man-at-Arms' voice. He's like, Where are you? Oh, I forgot. He made these communicators. Let me dig through my hat. Is there anything? Oh, where is it? Let me pull out the magic
The book of magic, which is I feel like that's maybe if by chance a reference to Daimar the Demon, where the book of magic is taken by Evelyn and unleashes Daimar the Demon.
Yeah.
Or Orko unleashes Daimar the Demon, and Evelyn takes the book for herself, and so I might be that's the one positive right there, and that may never be deliberate.
So they're having their talk, and they're saying, "Hey, is the sorceress there?" Orko's saying, "I'm waiting on her to get here. She's in this one. It's mentioned here that her location. She's about to fly over the sands of time."
Again, just excessively ridiculous, convenient dialogue for the sake of just like, well, we just got to get this thing going here. And it's like when this was written, it's like, you're not thinking things through at all with this. You're just, and I know this was taken from the Temple of Darkness mini comic, or excuse me, that mini comic was taken from this script, and somehow they managed to make that a hell of a lot better than what we got here.
Yeah,
that had 14 pages to tell a compelling, fun story, and had giant attacking clocks. It's still better than this.
Yeah, and they make a point too to say Zoar. So when we've had those conversations in the past about the pronunciation, you do get this mentioned multiple times. So Zoar is the way to go.
I told you.
So Neptune's starting to give this spiel of I can do this. I can manipulate the sand, and I need this. I need an army. Blah blah blah. He's using the scarab to do various things, and then he sees Zoar flying above, takes aim and shoots, knocks Zoar down. Zoar lands, and a falcon. This falcon will represent the cause more or less. And then we go back, and we have Tila here, who's kind of playing instructor, saying, yes, this is how you need to do this, and we need to do this multiple times until we get it right. She's, living up to, as Tyler says, her being a bitch, and she's quite a bitch.
Just learning her to jump. Yeah, that's all this is about. Not.
I mean, we do get the good butt shot here.
Well, yeah, Tila's always got a nice ass.
Yeah. And then, of course, we get the kind of like the, check this out. Let me go bungle this. So Adam makes a fool of himself.
So Tila can cut my balls off again from the upteen time, walk away, pissing and moaning.
And we don't see her anymore.
Thank God for this episode.
At this point, the sorceress reaches out to Adam, and it's like he's picking up on it a little bit, but it's like the connection is very... I was going to say staticky, but just kind of very hit or miss here. So he tries to reach again. Then we go back to Neptune, and this is when he makes his throne appear. And then this is when we get some more back and forth of them trying to communicate with one another. And this is when it's mentioned here more so too. Is like, I think we've kind of vaguely pinpointed her location. We need to go find her at this point. Cringer's saying, can I just go as Cringer and not Battlecat? Because I hate the sand.
It's so fucking mindless that you're like, I get the point of doing that, like having Cringer like avoid the transformation, which he has done a time or two, not too often, but it's done so poorly. It's meant to be funny, and it's like, it's just not. It doesn't serve the story. There's no payoff to it.
Well, Cringer, he hates sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Yeah, as I think George Lucas started writing Attack of the Clones right after watching
yeah, probably. So and he's like, you know what? That's fine, but sooner or later, you will probably be asking for me to turn you into Battlecat. So we get transformation sequence. I did like this though when he's about to, when we had this conversation, like. Normally you see just from this, so I like seeing the different spots.
When you're breaking the transformation, it's always a nice treat, but this is done in a way that's like, man, this like in Wayne's World 2. I know it's a small scene, but we could do better than this. It's like you could have written so much more better, give you a little bit more you know, again, there's no payoff for this, and when it does, it's like you got a really big gas bubble, and it goes like that's it. All that pain and anguish trying to get that thing out of you, and no,
just the
yeah. Meanwhile, your lower stomach's like, Jesus Christ, God, if I could just fart.
It'd be like Tyler's big elephant farts that he has. He's just tearing the seat up in his car.
Oh God, yeah, just leaving these, even though it's just nothing but air, somehow leaves skid marks still.
But this is when Neptune picks up some more sand. He's like, "Oh yes, let me go ahead and I'll build myself an army. We'll be the."
And they reuse the same rock monster used in Quest for the Sword and Evelyn's plots, and I like that design, but it doesn't look great here. It looks very clunky. Again, it just feels like this was, I don't know. I feel like this is, again, like so many things so poorly executed. Now, granted, yeah, not every episode of Filmation can be Evelyn's plot, the Dragon's Gift, Diamond Ray Disappearance, House of Chakotay, and so on. But man, granted, I probably said there are other episodes that are vastly more offensive than this, but for something that's supposed to be, we're trying to make a serious action adventure episode, whereas like Greatest Show on Eternia and some others, like, oh man, what the fuck were you thinking here? But this is just like they just fall asleep at the wheel. It's so at every movement.
Yeah,
and it's something that I was going to hold off on saying, but all we're seeing Neptune do is stand around
and make
growling and saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You haven't done a fucking thing to make yourself a true villain of this episode, other than you inadvertently captured the sorceress.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, he's just standing around growling about what he's going to do and what he's going to make. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but also too, what he does make is offensively ineffective. Like,
oh God, yes.
I mean, it's like pouring water on a piece of paper, kind of like fragile, like
it's and it almost like you know, and that makes me feel like when this was written, I can't imagine Jeffrey, like when he wrote this, that's why I feel like the threat may have been lost in translation, like from script to storyboards. And maybe James has the storyboards. Maybe there were things that were, like, well, we intended to do something a lot more menacing. We intended to make him more of a threat. We like in comic books and wrestling, you're not getting this guy over very strong at all here. But we're supposed to think that this guy's a legitimate threat to Eternia. And right now, he's just a guy talking to himself in a forgotten temple.
Well, would you also agree too that this just really makes the sorceress look weak as well, to just be taken out by this blast from the scare?
Because at least in Temple of Darkness, the one that captures her is Skeletor.
Yeah.
And he is aware. I'm pretty sure he's aware of that he's captured Zoar the Falcon.
Yeah.
This is like, it's a bird. It's a sign of a
yeah. Yeah, it's like this guy. I was gonna say that this dude is just completely clueless, but as we get when we get to the one part, I'll bring it up. But we have Man at Arms, Cringer, He-Man here in the attack track on their way to go help rescue the sorceress. We have attack track kind of talking to them about the general coordinates. He-Man tries again to connect with the sorceress with no luck. But then as they go on, they end up finding it because, we got to speed this up. It is only 22 minutes after all. So they look at the temple. At this point, we have the dust devil that gets stirred up. He-Man yells for the attack track to back it up a little bit. And then we have He-Man here. Just, there's a lot of science-based stuff.
Yeah, I was like, that was really ham-fisted into this episode in the most inappropriate manner. Like, yeah, come on, man, we're talking about life and death here. Like, hang on here.
So he creates this whirlwind. Also, we have to point out that Cringer gets caught up in this. So we don't see it here, but there was like the weird he throws it and it just kind of goes off into space.
Yeah, it maintains this, form of a dust wind or dust storm, just heave up in space. And I was like,
yeah,
do we need an establishing shot of the dust devil going out out of the off the planet? Like, it just, again, it's wasted moment in animation. You could have put on something else in this episode to help beef it up a little bit, spice it up, instead of just
Cringer says,
along.
I got sand in my eye. And then we go ahead, transformation sequence, we get Battle Cat.
And what was the payoff? Oh, he got caught in a dust storm. Well, I think I should be Battle Cat. It's like, is the audience clamoring for that moment, for this, at this point, why would you be?
Yeah.
Because it's more done for laughs than anything else. It's not done for a legitimate moment, like an epic moment where Cringer should realize, oh my God, like, if I was Battle Cat, Adam and Manos would not be in a particular dangerous situation here. But you know what? I decided to be a wimp about it, and dismiss my responsibility of helping out my best friend. No, we don't get that at all.
Neptune also uses the scarab to make this giant scorpion, and the science gets worse because He-Man's saying, "You guys go distract the scorpion. I'm gonna cook something up." So,
and a rope that's called electro rope that doesn't do anything electrifying.
No, it does. It just looks like a regular ass rope.
Yeah. Again, I would like to think something lost in translation. Maybe it's meant to have an electrical shot charged from it to, charge whatever it gets a hold of, like, like a living creature, like trying to shock it into submission. Maybe I'm trying to be sympathetic, trying to find something here to justify why it would be called that and why it would be a nice time to use it against a big fucking scorpion.
Yeah. And I love the idea that we're going to have a giant scorpion out here in the desert. That's great. But yeah, we're going to lasso
him.
But
Man at Arms is going to go mano a mano with a rope?
Well, hey,
it's something that only He-Man should be able to take care of.
You got Battle Cat that's going to kick up some sand right here. So you got
that's why we needed the friend. So Battle Cat kick up lots of sand.
So then He-Man's saying, "Hey, what happens when you heat up sand?" Oh, well, it turns into glass. So then he makes this sheet of glass. He breaks it into pieces, picks up the chunks, and then tosses them individually to box in the scorpion with the glass. That is...
Because a giant scorpion would not be able to get out of glass.
Yeah. I mean, he makes a point to say that, by the end of the day, it will dig itself out.
Not dig. No, it will bash the fuck out of that glass. It will not need to dig itself out.
Yeah. It's... this is like one of the dumber things I've seen in this cartoon.
Definitely an action beat that just slows it down because it's so poorly written, and then the payoff is He-Man becomes Mr. Wizard all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And not in a good way. Just such an unnecessary moment for the character that he would not do that. He-Man's very intelligent. Adam's very intelligent. But to take time in the moment of this sequence, like, let's do a science lesson for the kids. It seems like so out of character, because it is out of character.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some goofy shit right there. So much so that when that scene happened with the scorpion, because I wasn't aware exactly where the placement was in the production run of I was like, is this a season 2 episode? And it's close.
It's still, though, this is something that you're just like, man, there's some clunkers in season 1 to say for sure. I mean, Star Child always comes to mind. And I don't know, man. Again, when you're like there, I guess it was an episode. We're going to go with it. I can't believe, but then again, too, the mini comic is so much better.
Right.
I mean, it's not a fan favorite by any means, but it's just I don't know, better executed story with a very uninspired story.
Right.
But I'll take the time demons over this shit.
So Zoar manages to
See, look at that too. Like,
just
like
break away from these chains by just kind of chewing right there.
Yeah, and knowing that, okay, well, that's all it took to get out of that. The sorceress, being the resourceful and very intelligent woman that she is, should have been able to do that a lot earlier. And this is where, okay, the mini comic got it right the first time, is that when Skeletor sees Zoar, he turns her into a Crystal Falcon immediately.
Yeah.
As opposed to capturing her alive, and then it's like, okay, why didn't you? That would work better for the story,
right?
Is that there's no communication with between Zoar and He-Man, or anything or she has to use her crystal, like she's just stuck. She can't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why it would have been so much better had Neptune recognized what Zoar was and did it like. No, not knowing what the sorceress was, which is, I believe, is how Skeletor views the Falcon too. Like he just thinks that it's this mystical Falcon. That should be like his first triumph. Like, I've captured this mystical Falcon. I don't know why it's mystical, but it holds a great significance on this planet. And it's mine now. But you didn't do that, did you?
She takes flight to try to get away. That's when she is turned into the crystallized Falcon here. At this point, as he's admiring it, He-Man decides, I'm going to find my way in there. And as he's Neptune's talking to his sand army.
Yeah, his general, which again, I feel like that was probably not meant to be deliberate, and they got lazy and just recycled the same. They could have reused some of the other rock creatures that were used in Quest for the Sword and just change the color scheme, much like how they did with Raybar, who is the first one. It's all the reused model of Raybar from Quest for the Sword. And they could have used any of the others and just painted them brown, like sand color. I could have bought that, but this is the worst. No, we're just going to reuse the same one over and over again. He prefers, you're my general. Like, which one?
Yeah. But we hear this. He-Man breaks through. At this point, Neptune looks at him and says, He-Man. So it's like, oh, you know who He-Man is, but you don't know anything else.
And there's nothing to establish that, because it's for someone who comes off like, I mean, I guess anybody on the planet can know who He-Man was, but it just seems awfully convenient. It should have been more about like, who are you? Like, I don't know who you are, but because of his ego, it's like, I don't care who you are, what you can do. I have the Scarab, and I'm Neptune, and I'll destroy you. Like, no, we're not gonna do that or have that kind of introduction to each other like that.
So as He-Man, Battlecat are surrounded, Sorceress says they're just made of sand. And that's it. He-Man's like, okay, quickly dispatches these guys. Like they're nothing. Just blowing through them like absolute...
A couple of, like, it takes like, I think 2 hits. They crack, and then he hits them again. And like here, right here, he just rolls them up.
He rolls one up and throws it in the others. Boom, everybody's done. And that's it. Like they're all, everything that he's spent this entire episode essentially making, dispatched within seconds. And they're done.
Again, you're not getting this guy over at all as a legitimate threat of any kind. Like, just it.
And not only that, when Neptune is going into the motion to do more stuff, oh god. So, I mean, we have more of the schmaz here, but at this point, when he holds it up, boom, there's our rope coming into play again, and that's all this takes.
And you know what? There's no electric shock with that rope to like, make him lose his grip on this. No, just pluck it out of his hand.
Yank it out of his hand. Yeah.
It almost comes off like a mindless Scooby-Doo villain. Like he's so easily taken out. Like,
yeah.
And you look at this guy. Look at him. He looks like an Egyptian warlord, someone who should be feared and taken seriously. And no, a rope does him in. But someone say, well, it's the same rope that subdued a giant scorpion. So you know what? Well, Checkmate then.
At this point, the Scarab is destroyed. He's turned back into his former self that we saw at the beginning of the episode. And then, and then we get Man at Arms.
Yeah, for the ladies, we get a gratuitous ass shot of Duncan there.
It's like Showgirls all over again. So then we go back to Grayskull, and the sorcerer.
This is something I'm like, man, Sorceress is one of the most beautifully done characters in this series, and this is one of her lowest moments.
So it turns out that even though the Scarab was destroyed, the Sorceress put it back together, and now it's turned into a bird fountain, essentially, and now Neptune can hang out here and plant flowers and be happy.
Yeah, because that's what it was really all about. He found happiness by tending a bird bath by the weapon that I'm sorry, but if it's put back together in his palms, what's to prevent him from pulling a golem and saying, I mean, we don't get anything that says he learned his lesson. It's like great power comes great responsibility. None of that stuff. He becomes a pussy and decides to be a gardener all of a sudden.
Yeah. And that's the end of the episode. Our moral here is just saying that if you're going to, it's about being leadership, but also being a follower and saying it's basically like, well, if this guy jumps off a bridge, you shouldn't jump off a bridge just because he's doing it. You need to look at things with the right headspace and make sure that your leader is being the best leader that they can be, more or less.
And he was such a great leader in this.
Yeah. So, and their roll credits. That's I mean, it's not, like you were saying earlier, it's not the worst episode of Filmation, but that is not good at all.
No,
not at all. Like,
I'd love to ask Scott. So 20 questions. First off, why the fuck do you think this is a great character?
I guess if you're only looking at it in the sense of it's just this is a one-shot character, I guess you could take a positive in that. It's just that it's something different. It's not Skeletor, have all of that. Sure. But, I mean, is there anything else good that we can try to eke out of this at all? Like, no. His design looks fine.
Well, I used to hate his design because I associate him with being one of the weakest one-shot villains that's ever been done. But
I understand that.
Me, like, always wanting to try and salvage, bad ideas and try to make something special out of it. That design really should be one of the most memorable ones because he was inspired, thanks to James Etox's information, from I forgot the Filmation artist who it's in the video, the trivia video about Neptune for people who are interested about that. But he was inspired by Rama Tut from Marvel Comics, who would go on to become Kang the Conqueror. Who my preference is Rama Tut, because I dig Egyptian warlords, and having that in the Marvel universe, I thought was quite cool. Whereas Kang, I'm like, whatever. I don't care about him. Like the Fantastic Four taking on Rama Tut in ancient Egypt. Like, I just thought it's a great fun story, and the idea that he's apparently a version of Doctor Doom in the far future, which I was like, this is stupid. But I'm like, I still like the character. Like, I think Rama Tut, and knowing that Neptune was inspired by Rama Tut, like that's brilliant. Like that's what the character should have been, a very evil Egyptian tyrant, as opposed to some putz who just hears stories of something.
Here's stories about the Scarab goes on this quest to kind of find it, and then becomes him and does absolutely fuck all with it.
Yeah, it does nothing with it, and there's nothing that says.
And then he's just like a mental patient at the end with it, just being like,
yeah. He's like Adam Sandler in the movie Bulletproof. Disneyland.
See, it's Disneyland. He like, where? I love the way he says. Say that again. Disneyland.
There's an obscure reference for you.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember that scene because it cracks up Damon Wayans. Yeah. Because I don't think he meant to do it as many times or something. He threw in a little extra in there.
Yeah, he does it like 2 or 3 times in that sequence where they're asking who he was or who he is, and but there's just wasted moments in this episode that you could have used to build up Neptune from the very beginning, from the moment. And I always feel like you wouldn't call him Neptune when he's just a bum.
Mm-mm. No,
I feel like the name should be given as like a title that he gives himself, that he sees himself as like, I'm this great warrior now. I have this great weapon that can do my bidding. Like that deserves a new name for myself. And Neptune, I should call myself Neptune.
Mm-hmm.
And as opposed to just being this guy who just, you don't get the idea that he's an archaeologist. He just comes off as like some peasant who just desires fame and fortune. And even that, none of it's made clear.
Yeah.
A couple, like 10 seconds of dialogue, a little bit of exposition from his character as he's walking, like, I've searched for ages for this ancient weapon, and I will, destroy those who've wronged me, or no,
just no food, no water.
Yeah, that's it. I found it. Like,
yeah.
It says for someone who's saying they need food and water, it's like, oh no, fuck that. I want shitty sand monsters to be my generals, and just
yeah.
No, there's nothing salvageable in this episode.
You don't think there's anything good in it at all?
No, it's a waste of something that really, what the episode is named after, Temple of the Sun, is given no purpose, no significance of any kind, and it's used in other episodes and still not given any significance. And that's something I would like to correct when we do the makeover part.
Okay.
Because it's called that, and yet it's just a stone temple. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
It has a trap door. What do you fucking do?
Yeah. At the top of it. Yeah.
It looks like an eyeball at the top, like with the veins and stuff like that. I mean, it's a cool visual, and the name of it, Temple of the Sun. It should be some sort of Egyptian-based, mythology woven into the He-Man mythology here, and it's just completely wasted of just some putz standing around. And one of Alan Oppenheimer's like not best voice acting gigs with this growling, voice for Neptune. It's just like, no, this doesn't work, man, not at all.
Well, before we move into the makeover portion of this, out of 10, what do you give Temple of the Sun?
1. I feel like 0 is too cliche, so I'm gonna say a 1 because, I mean, Greatest Show on Eternity definitely gets the big, like a negative 10. You know what? Fuck it, -1. I don't need to be generous about it because it's a shitty fucking episode with a shitty fucking character.
I'll be a little generous and maybe go with like a 2 or a 3 because I'm not bored when I'm watching it. I'm not ready to just turn it off.
I was last night just revisiting just for the sake of, like, Jesus Christ, like, this is just such a bad episode with bad dialogue, bad villains, bad story. Everything's just bad in it.
Well, you want to see what old James E. Talk had to say?
Oh, the Reverend. Oh boy.
Well, this is the New Testament, Old Testament?
That's the Old Testament.
It's the Old Testament. All right. So, reading from the Old Testament, the plot. Oh boy, the plot of this episode is relatively simple. However, the fantastic character interaction between the heroes and exciting and well-directed action scenes throughout the story help make it an instant hit.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
The episode effortlessly mixes mystery with drama and action with comedy. Am I reading the right?
I hope you're reading a different episode review.
I know. I'm not. No, I guess I'm not. Patrick Duncan somehow manages to turn average scenes with a familiar cast of characters into some of the most memorable scenes in the series. An episode in which Cringer can justifiably stop his transformation into Battle Cat with a logical and amusing argument has to
No.
This episode is not one of the series' best. I can agree there, but it does have moments of high drama and laugh out loud comedy. 7 out of 10. James, no. I'm sorry, James. I love you. I love you, but no.
I love you too, man. But you know what? You're fired as the minister. You're just like, you're done. You're done. Get out of the pulpit. Give us the white collar piece there and get the fuck out. You know, you should be hanging out with Netfu as a bum.
It's funny how he makes makes no mention of Neptune or anything in the review. It's just that's.
I like to think that Scott Nyland paid him.
What was laugh out loud in that episode?
I'm like, James, do you really want comedy in He-Man? Do you really? I guess if you like the new piece of shit movie, I guess you do.
Speaking of which, yeah, I guess maybe in a couple days. I don't know. Release dates weren't showing anything for it, but that was just word of mouth. So I guess Tuesday. It's coming Tuesday for me on the 21st of July. We shall see. Anyway,
well, I can't wait to wake up to a multitude of messages saying how fucking bad it is.
So -1, I'll go 2, and that's being nice. And then James rolled in here with the 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. That's the same rating he gave it to Disappearing Dragons and a bunch of other classics. You know what? I think that's going to be an episode of Crimes Against Master of the Universe. James, you got to fucking defend yourself on this.
yeah.
I'm putting you on trial, dude.
We'll do that down the road.
Nathan can be the judge, and I'm the prosecutor here. I'm ready to put your ass away, man.
We'll ask James if he wants to defend himself or if he would like to hire someone on board. So we'll have to.
I can't think of anybody
that would agree that Temple of the Sun's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's get into the makeover.
Writing utensils of some kind. So
yeah, the makeover part. Let's dive into that and see what we can do to make this better.
Yeah, and as we've said before on a previous episode, Master Powercast, and I'm back in the Fans of Power days too. Like this has been discussed before, but I think Nathan told me when we were digging into it inadvertently, he's like, "No, save it, for another episode."
Yeah,
but this character needs to have been established as a legitimate threat from the moment you see him. And I think, but even before that, the Temple of the Sun needs to be set up as like, okay, why is this place so significant? It's used in the Great Books mystery. It's used in Trouble's Middle Name, which is another shitty episode, where it destroys Negator. But it's not given any great significance. Like it's not like this place out in the desert. Like what? Why is it there? Why is it abandoned? Why does it just seem to be kind of made available for any kind of one-shot villain to come along and commandeer it and make it his headquarters for the moment, for the convenience of the episode? So there should be a reason why people keep coming to this place and wanting to make it their own. But we never see any, like traps or anything deadly or lethal or a place that holds any great significance, like it holds a great power. Like in the junk collection, the scarab, which I like to call the sun scarab, is just kind of thrown away in a trove of forgotten artifacts, which seem to hold no relevance at all. And I mean, it just feels like there needs to be an established purpose for this place. Maybe in the days that, after Hero is passed on, Grayskull has pretty much become a forgotten place. Maybe this is like a great place where people came and gathered as a fortress of good. I mean, you think the sun, you think good. You don't. It doesn't come off as a place of evil. Where people become, and there's going to be human sacrifices and all that kind of stuff there too. That's what I feel like the House of Darkness would be, the foil to the Temple of the Sun. I think way back when my idea was like have like Hero be the one that vanquished Shakoti. So maybe the Temple of the Sun was used in the days of Paterni as almost like maybe before Castle Grayskull was built. It was built to homage Hero. So maybe like the Temple of the Sun was like a safe haven, like one of the most sought after places of sanctuary for people who were trying to avoid fighting and chaos. And if you lived in surroundings, you were safe living within the Temple of the Sun or in the surrounding areas. And over time, the desert overtook it and the only thing left in the sands of time was the Temple of the Sun.
But in that regard, then, because if we're trying to set up Neptune here, and obviously he's going to be evil, but the Temple of the Sun represents more about the good.
Yeah.
How do you really?
That's why you have a guy come in as a master manipulator as well.
Okay.
Like, much like, this is a crazy extreme comparison, but think of, Jonestown.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of like manipulating people, getting people to follow him more or less under fear, but he would also need to have, like he would find the scarab.
So it would be under the guise of good.
Yeah. That people are starting to recognize, like outside, like people, they're following him within his surroundings. Like the Temple of the Sun has become his. That is like his fortress, so to speak. Right. This place that used to be a haven of good and a source of like protection and warmth is really secretly this place of destruction and deceit. And
it's like a lot of it's like a lot of cults and churches. Like he's just using that same sort of mentality, just under the guise of, look at this, it's great, it's fantastic, this is good. And as you said, manipulating the people, because I mean, you using all those parallels, that is quite easy to do. Yeah, you see this in real time today with people that follow charismatic individuals. So yeah, that would be a fun way to go about it. And honestly, it's great because that puts it on a different level of evil. That makes any sense. Like,
yeah, because, and I'll say just something what we'll use here in a moment for this discussion.
Okay.
Is that it would need to be like, there needs to be someone in his kingdom that is questioning this and feels like, look, something needs to be done about this. I need to go speak to King Randor about this, because deep down Neptune would want to expand his territory. Like, I'm controlling these people. I want to control more than this. I don't want it to just be within sand this time. I want it to be the entire planet. Right. Like, I don't fear the dark hemisphere. I've heard there's a Lord of Destruction over there. I'll destroy him. King Randor in the royal palace. Like, I want to take over all of that, and just wants to build like any other crazy cult leader would do. Want to manipulate under fear, and have people think that they're living a safe life. When he's threatening people, he holds this mighty weapon, but also make him very formidable too. Like he looks this way. He needs to be someone who's quite feared without the scarab in his hand. Like, he keeps it on himself at all times, but like, he should be a great warrior. He's good with a scimitar, like an Egyptian like sword, or not an Arabian sword of some kind, or a staff, and surrounded by a group of very formidable henchmen based off Egyptian mythology. Which, Nathan, you want to bring these up here? Like, this is Anubis, Egyptian god of, I think, of the underworld, a He-Man character villain that is molded after him, which I always thought was probably one of the coolest looking Egyptian characters in the mythology. And I don't know all the names of them, but there were some that I thought about this like several months ago too. I was thinking about all of this, and like, I even had a mini comic cover inspired by my idea too. Like, I even came close to having Kevin like making that one of the next ones we did. There's another version of Anubis too. Can you imagine like a He-Man character based off of this as like one of his loyal henchmen? Yeah,
this honestly, these seem like characters that Formo Toys would put into their line.
Yeah, the Four Horsemen. Yeah, with the I forgot what it was called. Because I bought one of the figures, but they did characters a lot like this. And again, this was like the god of the Nile. I like. Can you not see this as an evil He-Man villain?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just. And another one, I can't remember what the name of this one was in particular, but I just see these three as like his trio. And then, of course, he's got to have like an Egyptian sorceress of some kind. I'm not trying to copy, like duplicate what Skeletor's got, but I just thought like there's so many cool looking Egyptian gods that would make great He-Man villains. Mm-hmm. And just having like this evil like sorceress, very striking, not make her look different, but similar to Evil Lyn. Like, give her a very like a like an Egyptian, princess motif or something like that, but make her very, maybe they could have used the original name for Evil Lynn, which was Desiro.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
Something like that I think would have worked. But just give him a quartet of intense followers, like henchmen, that kind of help keep the people subdued, living in fear within the Temple of the Sun, under his rule, and that he's wanting to expand and take over, and then word gets out, from someone who manages to slip out of the Temple of the Sun Kingdom to King Randor, like, look, I don't know if you're aware of what's going on in the Sands of Time, but we've got someone who's taken over the Temple of the Sun and is growing and growing. He's got plans of taking over here. And I want to see Castle Grayskull, because I almost feel like that's something that it'd be too cliche. Mm-hmm. I almost feel like he probably would not be aware of what Castle Grayskull even was, because it needs to be seen as just this forgotten fortress that only Skeletor's really focused on, and Hordak to a certain degree, because he fought, on Eternia at one point, if we're going to kind of tie in the Filmation mythology here. So I don't want every villain that shows up like after Castle, like Chakotay wasn't, Negator wasn't. They had their various means of, like, desires and what kind of powers they crave. So I just want Neptune to be like kind of like classic warlord. I want to just take over all. I want you all bowing down to me.
And there's not going to be any kind of previousness with him. It's just straight up. You go into the episode. He's already there. He's already got a decent amount of followers ready to expand, and that's the jumping off point. And
that's
just
the jumping off point.
That.
Like it's leave it, because the Sands of Time at this point almost feel like it's a desolate place.
Yeah,
not known to have any kind of threats or anything like that. Like, people live there and spread out, but the Temple of the Sun, I feel like you like to think it's so far removed from anything that's going on. Whereas if it's not Castle Grayskull, which has been pretty much the foundation of threats on Eternia for the most part, that this needs to be a threat that gets word out that, look, if we don't stop it, this guy is going to spread and grow, become a bigger threat on this planet, and kind of expanding out of the Sands of Time into the further territories.
And then that could be kind of more too of the delusion on his end as well, because he's so far removed from everything that while he wants to conquer everything, he's also not aware of everything that does exist outside of the temple.
He's so focused on manipulating and teaching people to fear him and his men.
Yeah.
He's not aware of who He-Man is. He just thinks King Randor is just this good, like a goody two shoes of a king almost. Just like, I don't fear him at all. He's not a threat of any kind. Like, all right, so what, he fought back the Horde invasion when he was young, man. Well, you know what? That was 18, 20 years ago. I'm today. These people they're following me. I've got the finest group of generals here. And even come up with some sort of like an army of some kind. Like, I don't know if they'd be creature based or more or less. I think before I had said, like, he had these loyal guards, which I know would probably be a little extreme for Filmation. But if I was like going to do this like in a more current comic book, I would have him have like a devoted group of elite guards whose tongues have been removed to kind of play off like Egyptian mythology. Like when they, I think they would do that as like some form of torture. That if you devote yourself to me, I will surround you with wealth, women, good food, but you can never backtalk me. You got to follow my orders at all times. There's no place, for acid tongues under my rule. So if you're going to do that, you'll have everything you've ever wanted. You just can't talk back to me.
With the scarab and everything, how we see it presented in Temple of the Sun and what he's capable of doing, like, I'm going to make sand monsters, anything like that. With this also, we're pretty much going to like keep that same state of it to where maybe some of these people, someone wants to leave or whatever, and then maybe he uses the scarab and maybe it does turn that person like into sand, and then they just fall apart.
I think that would be a great way of like, like we see a family, talking, or like he's addressing the people, and someone decides to kind of question, like, humbly and he gets
Mhm.
very angry, and it's like a father of a family. And he's like, are you questioning how I rule? Are you telling me I don't know what I'm doing? It's like, well, I can assure you, I know what I'm doing. It holds up the scarab and turns the man to sand, and he just falls apart right in front of his wife and children.
I mean, I think it would be cool if they did it outside the temple. He turns them into sand, and then the wind comes through and just blows them away.
Yeah.
But also we have to keep into consideration that are we doing this in terms, because you were saying comic book, but are we also thinking more also in the term of filmation, animation?
I mean, yeah, you could take the because I when I come up with my stuff, I don't want to say it's meant for 3-year-olds.
Right.
You know, I would much rather it be for people who appreciate a great sword and sorcery story. And and I think, as James even said, isn't that kind of extreme with like the cutting off tongues? Like, well, for Filmation, of course, but if I was gonna, like have Kevin illustrate my idea for the mini comic cover, it's in a very serious context here. I mean, we're not gonna have decapitations and people being gutted and mummified alive.
It would almost be like a Marvel Conan comic.
Where it's
that
like
balance to it.
Yeah, you're treading the waters of, okay, there's legitimate serious danger here, but we're not going to get graphic with the violence and things like that. We're going to make the threat as serious as it could possibly be, but feel like if a child were to pick up this book and read it, like, holy shit, but not to where like the mom sees like, oh my God, he cut off that guy's balls.
And I'm going to write a letter.
I'm gonna and have this canceled here, and all the Reverend Lovejoys and their wives of the world, where there's someone think of the children,
And then we're gonna have like Connie Chung and Geraldo reporting about it, and saying it's just a danger to today's youth.
And then I got to show up on Donahue after that too, and he's sitting there just banging his microphone on his head as I'm trying to explain it. It's not meant for babies eating cake. But I would really want this guy to be gotten over as a continuous threat, not just a one and done. Like, maybe he stopped, but you know what? He still has his territory. He still keeps these people living in fear. He still has his henchmen, and he'll try again.
I wouldn't say. I mean, I would say some living in fear, but also definitely have the ones that's like they're people that are they're brainwashed by it.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are completely like, you can almost think in terms of like how Dr. Doom is in Latveria.
Yeah.
He's written as like this great ruler to his people. Like they prosper. The farmlands are filled with, lavish crops, and everyone's living peacefully, and there's prosperity, but he's a tyrant. You do not cross Dr. Doom. Yeah. And yet you got some people who believe what he does is completely fucked up. And it should be kind of a, a similar take on that too. Like, he knows what he's doing. Like, he knows, I'm ruling these people. I'll kill them all. Don't question me. And turning a place that's should be one of the safest places to go, which has been forgotten. It's like, I'm going to take this place. I'm going to manipulate people into thinking that they're living under the protection of the sun, aka me, and be a foil to the royal palace.
And then going back to that, because you were starting to progress in the story, and we sort of kind of reverted back with word getting to Randor about this, the expansion, what he's trying to do, what he's wanting to overtake. I would love just for some exposition with it and talking about its purpose prior to the current events.
Yeah,
I would love to have Malactha mentioning the history.
Would be the one to come in.
Yeah.
And update, for the audience. But you explain to Adam, Tila, and maybe a couple of heroic warriors who happen to be present. And when this peasant from the Temple of the Sun Kingdom comes and pleads with King Reiner, we need your help. Like, and that's from like Temple of the Sun. Like, that was like one of the safest places on the planet. Like, why would that become a place of fear and desolation and destruction? And then Malactha comes along and explains it, like, what it was, and it actually just became forgotten to time. It become like a church that people don't attend anymore. It's just there, and this guy comes along after he finds this great weapon and turns it into his own fortress, and tricks people into living there and living under his rule and doing what he wants, and you know, I mean, you could go into, great things where he's, planning, to take anyone's daughter he wants. I mean, just all kinds of crazy shit. You could do things like that. Make him as despicable as possible in the most, toned down way.
PG-13 way.
PG-13, but hint that, this guy would like take 1,000 wives, and like every pretty girl that reaches like a marriage age is like, okay, I'm going to marry you next week. I'll marry you tomorrow, and just take them all for his own just shit like that, just make him despicable in every possible way. I won't say like, I would want him to be as feared as Mayax and Beastmaster.
Okay, yeah.
Which and we're not going to do like human sacrifice unless there's like a hint of something like that, like as a means of punishment would be some sort of sacrifice. If you were to backtalk me in my kingdom, like much like turning into sand or something like that. I mean, that could be like I think it's a great way of showing his punishment, but even hint that people have been sacrificed to like the giant scorpion or something like that. That's
that's another thing I was gonna want to get into as well, in terms of just like his powers with the scarab. Would he be able to create something like a giant scorpion? Do you want something like that?
I see. I would much rather that be something he raised from the beginning, much like Thulsa Doom's giant snake.
Yeah,
that it's something that was like Thulgrim, like he's had that snake from the time he raised that snake from the time it was born. Like that scorpion should be something that grew in size naturally on this planet, because this is a planet of science and sorcery. Like, you get all kinds of crazy stuff, and it should be something that follows his bidding. It's almost like a giant pet for him that he would feed, people who would, cross him, question him, or just show people like, you want to leave? Here's your way out.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That would be good. Having that kind of mentality, like keeping people living in fear that there's no way out. You will live here. You will do what I say. And I can give you more if you want to lose that tongue.
Who's going?
See it. You would never see anyone lose their tongue in the story, but they're just told like, if you want to live the happiest life in the Temple of the Sun, you have to have your tongue removed.
So who's going on this mission with He-Man to go check?
I'd say probably someone who is on, whose daughter has been taken, or someone who's. I almost feel like, would it need to be, or it could be the daughter of someone whose father has been turned to sand, and she is bound and determined to I've lost my father over this. I can't bear to lose my mother or my little brother. I've got to find a way to get out of here and get.
Well, how did she manage to escape though?
Well, see, that's something that I would really feel like we'd have to make very unique and special, like maybe steal from the Beastmaster again, of like when they're sending out like supply wagons or something like that that's managed by some of the guard. She sneaks in like the back of the wagon with like hay or something that they're looking to get rid of. It could be garbage that they're gonna, it's something for her to sneak out in a ways down the road. It's still gonna be a long trek, but she just find a way to get out of the kingdom.
Well,
with something that's already leaving the Temple of the Sun,
But at the same time, though, you could build it up in another way with the power of the scarab, because you see in the Filmation episode, he materializes a throne out of anywhere. You can make it to where the scarab is strong enough to where, with all these people that follow, he can do anything. They wouldn't need any supply runs, because with the scarab, he could just make that happen anyway.
But see, I would have him use it for his own personal gain, whereas he wants the people working for him, and the scarab is just is his greatest ally in terms of like getting what he wants. He wants to see these people busting their ass because he can do it out of fear, and it just needs to be something that he looks upon as like, we're getting rid of sand buildup or something like that, inside the temple, and she buries herself in the sand.
But also, you got to think about it in this way too, because you keep playing it on the fear part, but he also has to do something to lure people in. It can't just be like everyone's reproducing and you just like got a bunch of inbreds within the temple.
No. It would have to be
That's why
something
I'm saying, like, it has to be under the guise of good. In order to get more people to go and follow, I would say he would have to use the scare for that purpose, to do something good for them, to entice them to keep get them in.
Yeah, that's what would lure people in who maybe live out in the desert where life is very hard. And he's like, look, if you come live with me in the Temple of the Sun, I will provide a great life for you. Knowing full well his plan is to make them live in fear, make slaves out of them, put them to work all the time. You know, that they were given all these great promises. Like, maybe here, you're starving. The scarab gives them a nice hot meal with cold water. If you come live with me, within my protection, you can have all the food and cold water you want. Knowing full well, the more people he starts getting to come live in there. Now that you're in here, there's no way out. You know, it's
but then you also, but you also have to think too of what benefit is it having all these people here to do his bidding? Like, what are they doing for him? Because you got to think too, if he's got the scarab that can do anything that he wants for himself, then you have to, that puts it in the position of, well, then why do you need all of these people?
I think in his mind, he wants to start his own kingdom. He wants people following him, like any other crazy as fuck tyrant.
Yeah, I guess it's just hard for me to like think about it in that mentality, because I've never been in that mindset of like, I need all these things.
Yeah, they want control. I want this. Like, it's not enough. Like, I want people bowing down to me. He wants to be seen as a god, essentially, with these people because of what he can do.
Yeah.
You know, much like any cult leader, do they need people when they believe this crazy shit? No. But it's about control. I want people following my bullshit. I want them being afraid to walk out that door, knowing full well if I tell you to go out that door, you'll turn to sand, or you'll be eaten by a giant sand demon. You know, like, just crazy shit. Just have people so fucked up, knowing full well that they have no place to turn. Now they realize we're stuck in this place. We can't get out. This guy made it sound like we had a much more promising lifestyle just for the sake of, like, no.
I would say someone else, maybe a couple people, need to be with this girl that manages to get away, but the other two don't make it. I would make it like
they gave up their lives to help her get out.
I wouldn't even go that far. I would just say that she just somehow managed to be that lucky to escape. I wouldn't put it as a sacrifice. It's like, no, these other ones just got caught and they were killed. She somehow manages to make her way out to get the word out about this place.
Yeah.
That's
I'm going to grant to that too, because we need to really emphasize too that, you know, I mean, it's going to cost a lot to get the message out, and that people would inadvertently be taken.
But I guess too, wouldn't that also contradict what he's trying to do? Get more people, have this expand. Like, he would want that.
But he wants to be the one doing the expanding, not sending people out that he knows are living in fear. You know, he would require, like, you know, I think by this point, when he feels like he's gotten such a big big role, that he's just going to go and take it. Like, he's gone and I've done enough manipulation. Now he can go out and manipulate others, but I feel like any other tyrant, they're just going to go and take it by force. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there's some things in between there that we would have to like.
And this is all spitball, you know.
I
didn't write none of this. None of this stuff's been written down. It's just I had thoughts in the back of my head about a lot of this stuff for over time. I mean, most of this is all just coming top of our heads right now. We're not, you know.
Whose Filmation episode is it anyway?
Yeah.
So who's going on the mission with He-Man to go and check this place out, scope it out, and see exactly what all is going down here?
I really feel like we're going to need someone who is great at reconnaissance. So Buzz-Off or Mechanic, or not both, or maybe both. You know.
Yeah, I think you would want like someone on ground and someone on air.
Yeah, and I they're such a great duo, and they are two spies, and I feel like for something that has become like an impenetrable fortress, if we were going to, like I said, we're going to make the Temple of the Sun something legitimate, something that's well guarded by his elite guard, and then you have his 4 henchmen. You need someone who can observe things from a great distance. Like, okay, we need a battle plan. Okay, we've got guards all over the place here. There's only one way into the Temple of the Sun. It's heavily guarded. How are we going to get in here and not cause a great disturbance and get people, hurt? And that's where you have Buzzoff, flying around, Mechanic looking from several miles back, and He-Man trying to come up with a plan based on what they are seeing and how we're going to, cause a distraction or get them to lower their guard enough for them to manage to break and get inside there. And, I almost feel like there needs to be like a sense of urgency, because I feel like He-Man would just not go, okay, this guy's threatened us from a distance, but he hasn't done anything to us yet. So we need to have like the girls, like they've destroyed my father and they've taken my mother and my little brother captive, or some. There needs to be a sense of why He-Man and the Heroic Warriors would want to go and infiltrate the Temple of the Sun.
That's
because the open threat. King Rander's like, look, this guy's threatening us. Well, so far he hasn't done anything to us, and you want us to help. So we it's not going to be He-Man's, like, he would go and observe things.
Unless we can play it similar to Temple of the Sun, and you had mentioned all of these, and you mentioned Buzzoff. What if Buzzoff is kind of inadvertently flying around much like Zoar was, and he ends up getting captured and he's in there? He could be the one this is what sends out He-Man and the Heroic Warriors. So you probably,
when they see from a distance like he's been captured, okay, now we have to go in and get our buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So yet I'd be down with that. If we're gonna wipe out the idea, we're not going to bring in Zoar the Falcon. Like, we need this to be like he is not interested at all in any. We don't need to have any Grayskull connection to this. This guy needs to be working on his own and just thinking about power, and knows nothing of Grayskull. We need to save that for Skeletor and the Horde and the Snake Men.
Yeah.
So I think the idea that his guard, like his henchmen, are like, there's that we need to get them over as like being very intelligent, very, like we could have the god of the Nile, like the crocodile base character, like observing like the moat maybe surrounding the Temple of the Sun in the desert there, kind of playing off like, he's lurking in the waters or something like that for any, not all the time, but just someone who would reside there from time to time, much like how Merman would be residing in the waters, or something along those lines, for like an action sequence, for He-Man to take him on in the waters as they're trying to, it's all kind of, all over the place right now. But I do like the idea of Buzzoff being captured and, and like, okay, we got to get in and get our friend. And so He-Man, Mechanic, and the girl.
And you could have Neptune with the line of dialogue just be like, another trophy for my ranks, because he kind of likes collecting these different...
and someone tells him, like, this is one of the Heroic Warriors of Eternity. He's like, you don't say. And I captured him without hesitation.
Yeah.
This be assembled at King Randor. I am not to be trifled with. I've captured one of your men. What are you going to do about it?
So would it just be sort of
the ego? This guy just wants to be seen as the ultimate threat on this planet.
So it's just kind of building to where we're going to have an action scene here around the moat, and He-Man, they're gradually making their way inside, and then we finally have that conflict with Neptune. What would that battle kind of be like, though? Is he going to rely a lot on the Scarab to do things?
I think as a last resort, because I would like to see, because this would be his first meeting of He-Man, and just sees him as this tough guy with a sword. Like, I'm quite good with the sword myself. And then I would like to see this being like a sword fight. Like He-Man and Mechanic take out the henchmen, the others. And then, that Neptune sees how good He-Man is with a sword, unsheathes a bladed weapon of some kind. And for his own ego, thinks like, okay, you've bested my best men. Let's see how you can handle me. And He-Man, after a fun, good sword fight, he's defeated, and out of desperation goes for the Sun Scarab, and then really puts He-Man to the test, because then he starts creating all kinds of crazy monsters and shit, and then gets frustrated when He-Man's and then just trapdoor sends him down to the giant scorpion, and He-Man's got to take on the massive scorpion, much like the Rancor in Return of the Jedi or something like that, and there's Mechanic and the girl upstairs trying to fend for themselves, and He-Man, takes on the big scorpion, and like Nether just gets so frustrated, like nothing's working here, and I'd almost feel like,
yeah, what needs to lead to the downfall? Are we destroying the Scarab, much like we thought we got in Temple of the Sun?
I want it to be thought that it's destroyed, because I want Nepthu to still be. I want him to be a recurring villain, and I feel like at this point, like the fighting, like He-Man, they get Buzz off, they get Mechanic, and they get the girl. And she's like, I can't leave. My family's here. Just free my family. And I almost feel like,
see, that's kind of where you kind of hit a rock and a hard place with them, though, because you want him to be reoccurring, but if we dispatch him like he's imprisoned or whatever at the end,
okay, then you know what? Then we have the henchmen defeated, and we need to make it look like that Nepthu has lost the Sun Scarab and he is perished, and that they free the people in the Temple of the Sun, and they think they're gonna, and their plan is to return it to what it was meant for, a haven for.
Yeah, you definitely want to kind of do that at the end of wanting to return it,
and then have it shown that Nepthu's men find Nepthu and get him back. And the sorceress like hands him back the scarab, and so now he's like on a personal vendetta. Like, okay, my greatest enemy now, it's not Randor, it's He-Man, and if I got to start over, whatever. But I will, either. But then I feel like that's when like the Temple of the Sun would be under the watch of Randor now. Like we have to watch over these people here. These people that we had no idea lived here. We need to know that they are safe from Neptune or anybody else. So that's when I feel like they would, Buzz off and Mechanic would become like the representatives of the heroic warriors of the royal palace, not staying there, but they would be, they would check in with it, and make sure that Nepthu's not sniffing around or anything like that, and it would cause Nepthu and his crew to move on to other locations and other means, and then we're done with the whole master manipulator thing. That's how we introduce the character. Then after that, we move on. We move him on to other, where he becomes, a recurring villain with his faction of evil warriors.
All right, okay, that would be fine in that regard. I was gonna say if you're not gonna go that route, then you need to do something to where it's his cockiness and his power with the Scarab somehow, maybe kind of cheesy, but like somehow it ends up getting used on himself, and he turns himself into sand and blows away, kind of thing, or something. Like it's either going that way.
If we okay, that would be a fun way of ending the story. In the epilogue, is that his evil sorceress and henchmen are searching around, and she detects the remains of him in the sand dune, maybe about a mile away. And the Sun Scarab brings him back to life, and they hand it back over to him, because in their mind they still see him as their great leader.
Yeah, something like that. But definitely go the route of
like, the Scarab should be the thing that we think destroys him.
Yeah. But definitely,
so no, I like that idea.
Definitely going the route of, here he is, like mega church guy, and then it's after the introduction of the character and dissolving that, now it's him and his little married
he's
crew.
No longer the crazy cult leader determined bent on like world domination. He's got to start over again, but he's got a core of great warriors and a powerful weapon that will be causing destruction. Maybe he'll ally himself with another one-shot villain, or just plans on getting back at He-Man in any way he can. It just gives He-Man another villain other than Skeletor on the planet that would keep coming back.
Yeah, you look at it, and you can kind of look at it in the mentality of like the Batman 60s series,
like the King Tut.
Yeah. So you know what I mean, though. Like it would be that kind of character that's not used often. It would
No.
definitely he would definitely be used sparingly, but definitely have him reoccurring enough.
Yeah, like, you know, it would still be Skeletor. You got the Horde. You got the Snake Men. You know, and of course you wouldn't always have to use like an established villain. You can still have your one shots. But I look at that guy. I'm like, this guy should be leading a group. Like an Egyptian looking character like that. Like it just there's potential in that design, and that's why when I saw that he was inspired by Rama Tut, I'm like, why didn't you guys go with that? Something like that. Like, no, just stand around and bark at yourself and
Haku Machente.
oh God, you had to bring that up. I can't believe you even remember that fucking line from that piece of shit movie. God, I saw that like 2 or 3 times.
Well,
because I so wanted to like buy like, oh, The Rock's gonna be a great action hero, and he's in this the Mummy sequence. I love the Mummy, and oh, it's gonna be awesome, even though this dialogue's really fucking bad.
wait, so you like the Mummy? That first one?
I haven't watched it in over 20 years. I don't care to watch it again.
But you liked it at the
when
time?
it came out, we saw it like 4 or 5 times in theaters. We fucking loved it. My family loved it.
I watched it a couple years back. It's entertaining enough. It's a good like summer blockbuster popcorn movie.
It's a fun summer movie, but some of the from what I remember a lot of that movie. Like, even though I haven't watched it in over 20 years, I never even owned it on DVD, but I saw it in theaters multiple times, rented it, and thought it was a blast when it came out. Like, we just thought this was such a fun, like, kind of Indiana Jones inspired movie. And a lot of fun mummy effects in the movie, like the sandstorm that Arnold Vosloo invokes with his face in it and stuff like that. There was some cool stuff in it, or was that in the sequel?
I don't know. I don't know. I've never watched the Mummy Returns. I've only watched the Mummy. Like, Emily likes that movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
Billy Zane, casting him as Neptune, right?
Oh God, he'd be awesome. I'd cast Billy Zane in almost anything.
Yeah, Billy Zane.
Much like Carl Weathers, like I put him in. I'd find great use. He'd be a great Neptune.
I think he would be awesome just if we're doing an animated, just having him doing the voice.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, absolutely. That a very deep, assertive voice, but not played for laughs, like in Demon Knight. Like, just play that like he's manipulating people in that for fun, but flip that around and make it as serious as possible. Like, I mean, really deliver a lot of malice. That's a great casting of there.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Well, that
Get
was
him on the horn.
Yeah, I'll call him up right now.
Yeah.
So that was sort of like the rough sketch for our makeover idea. So let us know in the comments.
My idea was to have it was called the Adversary Alliance, and it'd be a story where Triclops and He-Man are both captured by Neptune and have to work together to get out.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
And my idea was like to have Neptune inspired by that beautiful pose that John Buscema drew of Loki from Silver Surfer number 4. Have him sitting on a throne like this with his sorceress next to him, and then Triclops and He-Man are right standing side by side, chained. Like, he's like thinking what to do with these two. Like, one of Skeletor's like highest ranked warriors and He-Man, both are prisoners of mine. Like, what am I going to do with both these guys? And knowing that they were fighting, they got caught, and now they got to work together to get out. Have moments where He-Man's like, I'm not leaving you behind, and Triclops, being that evil warrior with a code of honor, is like, you know what, you saved my life, I'll save yours. But when we're out of here, I'm not going to fight you. I will go. I will walk away. As your enemy.
The Storm Shadow of Masters of the Universe.
Yes, very much so.
We can make that Neptune's second appearance.
Yeah. Where he's somehow like, because I feel like they're caught. They're fighting in the place that they're unknown. That it's unknown to be Neptune's new like fortress or headquarters or whatever you want to call it, and they're both taken captive and into this new territory, and got to find our way of getting out and going through various traps and creatures and things like that, like having He-Man and Triclops in a back-to-back moment with all the henchmen, surrounding them, and maybe like a creature, like guys like this with their various, unique weapons confronting the temporary team up of Triclops and He-Man. Tell me, people, that wouldn't get your nipples hard.
Yeah, get Kevin to get that drawn up, and we'll go ahead and make that another
mini comic cover.
Yeah. But once again, there was the makeover portion of that. Tyler, let's go ahead, roll some commercials, get to your feedback, and maybe a little bit more. We'll see what happens after that. So we'll be back right after this.
Stay tuned.
They've got the building.
They have already killed one hostage.
They've got the odds. They've got his wife.
No!
Now, he's got one night to get it all back.
You really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay. Bruce Willis in 40 Stories of Sheer Adventure. Die Hard. Rated R. Now playing in selected cities. Starts Wednesday, July 20th at theaters everywhere.
Battle Beast! Wood! Fire! Fire burns wood! Battle Beast! Fire! Water! Water puts out fire! Battle Beast! Water! Wood! Wood beats water! Battle Beast! Battle for the fun of it!
Just activate their battle badges.
I got fire! I got water! Water beats fire!
Battle Beast!
Wood! Fire! Fire beats wood!
Battle Beast can grow into an army!
Collect all 84.
Battle Beast!
I am He-Man. Call She-Ra and me at 1-900-909-2233.
We'll journey to distant worlds, explore the universe.
And probably battle Skeletor along the way, huh?
Probably, Orko. There's a new adventure every day. We'll also tell you how to get an action figure or this colorful poster.
Part of your $2.35 two-minute call will go to local science museums.
Get your parents' permission and call 1-900-909-2233.
I have the power!
And we're back. Let's get your feedback going here. Let's move some stuff around. This first one comes from Mike Lomax. This is a comment on the Sword of Skeletor Golden Book review that we did. Mike goes on to say, I haven't commented for a while. Tyler, I totally understand and see the way you feel about the Master Universe film. You are a fan with an unbound passion for Master Universe. For myself, I did enjoy the film when I watched it and felt I hadn't wasted money to go and see it. I did have nitpicks about the film, which has grown in the weeks since I saw it. The opening shouldn't have been done that way. Everything to do with Earth, Randor's death, and the big one, He-Man killing. He-Man doesn't kill anyone, and that is one of the most important parts of the character. Then with everything else in the film is going to date very fast. A film like this has to be timeless. So thanks for reading my comment and great video all around.
I feel like, even though I detest, that's probably the worst one that's ever been made, and I'll never see it. But as you read that, I feel more calm about people saying they saw it, and if you enjoyed it, okay. I feel like I've mellowed a lot more, because I just get to where, like, you know what?
You're like, what is it? You're like Hades in the Disney Hercules, or it's like fire. Like, I'm okay.
I told Nathan before, I can't remember if I said this while we recorded or not, but I feel like there's going to be continuous morons calling the shots with this property, but they cannot take away what we do on this podcast, the possibilities, the greatness of Filmation, the wonders of the mini comics and golden books. They can continue to keep fucking up the new stuff. It will leave no impression. It will much like the father that gets killed off in our Netflix story, turn to sand and blow away in the wind, and no one will ever remember it.
That's always the key component to any IP. It's not like the old stuff is gone away and you'll never see it again. Like, that's still there. And
I would have more. I would stand by that more if I felt that Mattel was more like Hasbro, where there's this interpretation of G.I. Joe failed. We'll try another one, or this interpretation of Transformers. Okay, that went for one season, or it ran for all right. We'll try it again. Like, they're always wanting to, and obviously they've realized that, you know what, classic G.I. Joe, classic Transformers keeps making us a fuck ton of money. So let's just continue to keep working with that. Whereas Mattel's like, no, fuck you. You know, what they say, they just keep trying to put a modern spin on the classics. So, like, Hasbro does it tastefully. And they're honoring the old stuff as opposed to doing it cheap and charging $30 for a cheap-looking fucking figure. You know, I don't read the current stuff at Transformers and G.I. Joe. I've heard some of it's good stuff. I'm so...
Yeah, we've gotten some comments.
We have, and I trust their judgment. I'm just not motivated enough to try and seek out like where to start reading, where can I pick them up, and I just I for the most part I just feel like they pick people who say they're fans. Like, okay, I'm fans of a ton of stuff. Do I need to be writing it? No.
Yeah.
You know, I love the first 3 Star Wars movies. Do I need to be writing comic books for Star Wars? Fine, no. You know,
that would be interesting to see if you tried how it would turn out. For you.
I would detest it because outside of Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi, there's your beginning, middle, and end. I don't need to see anything else after that. And even before that, I had ideas of like what the Clone Wars must have looked like when Anakin and Obi-Wan fought, but it wasn't what we got. Revenge of the Sith. You know, so I at this point I don't give a fuck. I would much rather it's a beginning, middle, and that's it. Whereas other properties, I feel like I could offer maybe something, but I'm like, man, I just because you say you're a fan doesn't mean you're qualified for the job.
This is the interesting part, though. This is my biggest takeaway from this: that even though Mike enjoyed it and had nitpicks, they've grown in weeks since watching. And I had mentioned that before. I think over time, a lot of the people that were just 100% all in with this, fucking loved it or whatever, I think down the road, it's really going to they're going to start seeing those things that they missed that first time around.
Well, and I think with anything, because I was guilty of like ignoring a movie that I thought, oh my God, I couldn't wait to see it and didn't want to admit, oh my God, this is not what I thought it was going to be, but you ignore it. I did that with a lot of movies in my teens, where I was so excited to see it, and when I'm seeing it, and my heart is like, oh my God, this is fucking bad. But do you like? I put so much hype into it, like I refuse to believe that this is a bad movie. You know, and I would go see it again or deny it.
Riff off a list, just a handful.
Phantom Menace, Mortal Kombat Annihilation,
Spawn wasn't Spawn.
Spawn, me and my brother begrudgingly, openly, like when we got done with the movie, like,
okay,
yeah, we, Spawn, not Spawn, Phantom Menace, Batman Begins. I had problems and I didn't want to admit it because I was so excited to have a new Batman movie. And I felt like if I came out and was truthful, like, no, there's problems with this movie, that I was ungrateful that I got a new Batman movie by what I thought at the time was a great director. Now I just like, no, fuck Christopher Nolan, his pretentious bullshit movies. I didn't want to admit that I absolutely detested Christian Bale's Batman. You know, it's just, oh my God. And the fight choreography is clunky as shit. You couldn't see anything, you know, and just bad dialogue from these secondary actors in the background that are like, they're not prominent actors, but they're there as like citizens of Gotham and they just can't act worth the fuck.
Oh, you're talking about King Joffrey as a young boy.
Him and a bunch of others. You know, and I remember listening to a podcast many years ago, and they were talking about the same thing. They saw it in The Dark Knight. Also, like, how is it like Christopher Nolan, like, you know, he'll cast this massive slew of great renowned actors, but then all these speaking parts throughout the movie are done by like friends, relatives, or some shit like that who have no business acting. Like they can't deliver one line of dialogue that make you know. Can we get Charlton Heston for this line of dialogue? You know, that's when I have that Wayne's World 2 moment. Like, I know it's a small part, but we can do better than this, right, Chris? Yeah. I guess we can't. So fuck you.
Next set comes from Dr. Alec Court. This is the Golden Book Spotlight, Secret of the Dragon's Eggs. Going back
a little ways back.
Going a little ways back here. It goes on to say Lex Luger from the 80s wrestling probably cannot act, but man, he looked like He-Man.
Oh, fuck yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Very much so.
The reply that I had under this, which I can't click on here because it's just a static image. I said, yeah, they could have dubbed him, I guess.
Yeah, because they wanted to dub Dolph. and
Yeah.
it was in his contract. He couldn't. He's like, no, or Canon decided they were going to, no, we're going to stick with Dolph. So
It goes on to say 100% correct on Alan Richardson. I think it's Richardson. The guy I mentioned before being He-Man. That's perfect casting. The guy that played Reacher.
Oh, okay. I think you had mentioned it before a good while back that he would make a good He-Man.
Let me look up last name again just to make sure that I'm not. No, Alan Rich. Yeah, he was right. Richson. Richson. Yeah, he
definitely would have looked more phenomenal than that pussy they cast in the movie.
Tyler knew 2026 would be trash, and he was 100% correct. Galentine was a huge miscast. The movie was 2 hours making fun of the IP instead of telling a good story. Long live Master Universe 1987. Howard the Duck was awesome. Saw it 3 times in theaters back in the day.
I envy you for getting to see Howard the Duck in theaters. I wasn't until VHS in I think 88 is when I first saw it and fell in love with that movie and probably irritated the fuck out of my parents at how much I watched it. But I'm that's awesome that you recognize it was a piece of shit. All it did was just make fun of it. Everybody was miscast. Plus, not to mention, when you cast Jared Leto as one of your main leads, you're dead on arrival already. Have they not learned that already?
I bought Howard the Duck on 4K. It showed up this week, so I need to pop that in and revisit because I have not watched Howard the Duck.
Oh my god,
long time.
I will champion that film to the day I die. It's like you people just don't. It's like they don't get it. You know, it's not supposed to be fucking Shakespeare, and even Shakespeare fucking sucks in my opinion. All these dumbass stories of just pussies. Whatever.
I did put a Howard the Duck TV spot on the Countdown for Zartan episode. That's actually cool. premiering on the channel now as we are recording.
Okay, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's just we got to talking about it, and that stuff sticks with me. So when I go to edit other episodes that we've done,
yeah,
I'm like, oh yeah, the TV spot. Yeah, let's put that in there.
I love Howard the Duck.
Which you mentioned yesterday when you and I went out and got some pizza together, that you love the fact that someone made mention that they love the commercial breaks, the actual commercials that we put in there, and we like doing that too. We like half the time I'll tell Tyler like send me 3 commercials, and then sometimes when I'm sitting here editing, I'll just go on YouTube and find stuff and just random stuff that I was like, yeah, this will be fun to put in here. I think the next bit. These all come from the Who's mini comic. Is it anyway? Round 3 is Casey Duncan saying vibes. So yeah, it was fun sitting around getting creative with Tyler and especially having Tom to bounce some ideas off. Which got me thinking when we were doing our redo of our remake of Temple of the Sun and tweaking some stuff. Kind of wonder what Tom would have tossed in there with that and what we could have bounced off of each other there.
I'm sure he would have said, you were right.
Yeah. Brian Clifton, as much as I enjoyed the mini comic, Tyler's experience made the episode. Thanks as always, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you, Brian. And thank you, Casey, both. Appreciate that.
It's good having the knowledge here, especially bringing up Tom again, having Tom to like toss out more factoid stuff and flex his muscles as
absolutely. Well. I Danielle, James, and Tom and myself, I like to think we're quite the quartet of it. Nathan, you're getting continuously better and better at putting out ideas, because you would never claim to be a He-Man historian or fanatic, but storytelling. You watch a lot of shitty movies. You watch a lot of good movies. You realize what works, what doesn't.
Yeah.
So most people can't do that. Just like people who worked on the new movie, they couldn't fucking do that.
Keep circling back to that. Rob Oram, Jim Cotta. That was one of the best movies that no one ever saw. That was another one of the commercials I put in.
Oh, okay.
Because Tom's on, and he's a big Jim Cotta fan. So.
Yeah, he is. He's got the movie poster of it. People don't know.
Yeah, which. The whole thing too is I need to sit down and actually watch Jim Cotta.
I have not seen it either. I just remember seeing it in the video store back in the day. I was like, this movie looks fucking stupid.
Yeah, so we need to sit.
So yeah, I definitely need to sit down myself and watch it, because that was one of our biggest target when we first had him on back on Fans of Power. He had the Jim Cotta poster up behind us. Like, Jim Cotta, I never knew anybody who had seen it. He's got the movie poster, and it just snowballed from there. And Nathan and him hit it off because they're watching shitty movies left and right.
Yeah, we like shitty movies, and we finally got Tyler roped into the shitty movies
Yeah.
and Michelle Bauer, and then we go meet her, and
Oh.
Tyler has like the best day of his life.
Yeah.
But I think with Gymkata, maybe we should just tell Tom to bring it with him, and we can watch it together when we are there at Motu Fest, September 12th and 13th in the greater Cincinnati area. So the hotel at the venue is sold out. I think the secondary hotel discounted rates that's right beside of that hotel is sold out. I think there's some others within walking distance and within the vicinity. So go to thepowercon.com for all the ticket and hotel detailed information.
We encourage you to come out and visit us and argue about the movie if you want to, or
buy some prints.
We'll be selling some toys at the table for sure. So people, if you got some cash to spend and buy some stuff, and just want to come by
blow
the
all
table,
your money,
blow all your money, and we'll have some fun little giveaway stuff. Hope that's our plan. It's a small operation between the two of us, but we want to make our table look festive and encouraging to come by and talk He-Man.
Ara 8820 Eternia v Etheria. I haven't gotten the an elaboration on this, but I'm assuming Eternia versus Etheria.
Well, he's got Mysticor as his avatar there, so I'm probably gonna say Etheria because it's got an intense embodiment of women.
that's a good.
Yeah, so
it's a big sausage fest on Eternia.
I mean, there are women, rest assured, but you know what? We tend to see more and more beautiful women with multicolored hairdos all over the place. I'm in the mood for some blue hair tonight. I'm in the mood for some purple hair tonight. Just pick your poison on Etheria, man.
Does the carpet match the drapes?
It would be interesting to see if Spinnerella's got purple pubes.
So yeah, I guess we're both Team Etheria. So thank you.
Good question there.
For the comment. Andrew HM5. How do I know Tom's voice? Was he on a podcast? Great episode. Thank you all. And I replied to this. Tom's been on a handful of episodes when it was Fans of Power. And actually, I think this was his first time with Master Powercast because we did another
that
was the end of Fans of Power.
Oh, okay, got
it. Round one of Who's Many was like the very tail end of Fans of Power
before we changed it.
Yeah,
okay, wow.
So this was his first time on Master Powercast. In terms of if he was on another podcast anywhere at any point in time as a guest, that I'm not sure of. He may have popped up in some other places that we don't know of.
But he's a fun-loving, knowledgeable guy. He likes to watch shitty movies and talk He-Man.
There is an Instagram account, and I wish I would have thought of this years ago. But the name of the Instagram account is Shitty Movie Club, and I'm like, God, that would have been like the best like YouTube to like do this and like have Tom on, and we're just we're reviewing a shitty movie together.
Yeah.
Missed the boat on that one. I thought I had another one, but I guess between Mike and Dr. Alec Court with that, plus the last time that we recorded and we had like I think three episomes.
I guess that would have been on the Ultimate Challenge. Ultimate Challenge. I'm getting New Adventures of He-Man confused with the Ultimate Battleground.
What is this? WrestleMania 6?
Yes. The Ultimate Challenge.
Oh man.
Can you do your Vince impression of that?
I'm just saying the Ultimate Challenge.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Challenge. You gotta like at the end of words. There was
I would love for you to do like your rendition of his monologue for WrestleMania 6. When he's talking about the constellations and.
I would have to commit that to memory. I don't remember how exactly. I remember the visuals of it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember exactly.
It's a great opening, and then with him yelling WrestleMania 6.
There was a TikTok of this guy that was like in this indoor zip line park, and he's standing there, and in the TikTok video he's dubbed over Vince doing the commentary for when Shawn Michaels descends from his zip line.
Yeah.
at WrestleMania 12, and I just the way that Vince was just like puffing up Shawn, like God, it was so bad. Like Vince on commentary was awful.
I like
Absolutely
Vince
awful.
on commentary. I always thought he was good on commentary.
No, it's just too much. What a maneuver, and then the wow, 1, 2. He got. Oh no, he didn't. Like, ugh,
You know, I get what you're saying. I just always enjoyed him on commentary, along with Monsoon and Heenan and JR, of course.
I just look at it that if anyone
Macho
else,
Man was good on commentary too.
Macho Man was good, but I always saw it if someone else was doing that, how Vince was doing that, and Vince was listening to it, I don't think Vince would like it. But because it was him and he loved himself,
yeah, he was always. Now I feel like when you listen to like his commentary, like on Raw, like for like a standard match, it never felt like it was. It felt like it was over the top or crazy.
Yeah, he toned it down.
He's excited about what's going on in the ring, much like Gorilla Monsoon would be, or JR.
But Gorilla was way better.
I would always put Gorilla over Vince. I just like Vince's commentary. Well, like his openings, like his narrations for the pay-per-views, like when he's doing like the introduction for like Survivor Series.
No, those
I fucking love those. Man.
Those aren't good either.
I still get pumped.
Or
introduction for Roy. It's the Royal Rumble and introduces the participants. Like I fucking love it, dude.
No, it's just
you don't like none of that, man.
I mean, I like doing the impression of it, but I
love you. I mean, your impression.
But hearing it, I don't enjoy.
Oh, I get pumped. I
mean, it's funny to a degree. I saw another video too. It's a wrestling podcast. It's Deadlock, so it's like Johnny from New Legacy Inc. and a couple other guys. I think one of the other guys left, but they were doing the Shotgun Saturday Night, like one of the earlier episodes when it was just. And it's Terry Funk in the ring and Stone Cold's on commentary. And Terry Funk is just like, I'm looking for a fight. And Pettingill's in the ring. He's like, what about you, Pettingill? And then he's like, your mother's a whore. and then he's like, he's on the microphone and he's like, where's Jim Ross, that oaky asshole? you hear Vince on commentary and be like, like he's like, we apologize for Terry Funk's. I loved how unhinged Terry Funk could be, but it was also disappointing because you had Stone Cold on commentary, and I hate the fact that we didn't get a Terry Funk versus Stone Cold match.
I almost thought that would have been a no-brainer.
A little mini feud, like the promos alone would have been fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
I just love it. It's like, where's that oaky asshole? Your mother's a whore. I'll download the clip and send it to you.
We need to make use of that line. Your mother's a whore.
All right. Well, we'll work it in some way. So yeah, Howard the Duck got that in on 4K. There's a few other things I need to watch. You watch Bad News Bears. You watch anything today before we recorded?
Spaceballs.
Oh yeah, you sent me the video of that, and I was like, I never thought you to be like a one to want to watch Spaceballs often enough because I haven't watched that in a long time.
I think growing up it was. It's easy. People throw it around so much that I watched it so much. I watched it so much. I watched a lot of fucking movies as a kid. I mean, a lot of fucking movies. And Spaceballs was one that I saw before I saw Star Wars. Yeah, and
I think me too, actually.
Yeah,
I think about it.
I don't know how it's just one of those very early memories of renting it and knowing it was something to do with those movies that I had not seen before, but didn't know it was a parody because I took it serious.
Yeah,
as a kid, and but I think once I got into my 20s, I just had revisited it in probably almost 2 decades. But it's all embedded in my memory. I could quote the movie like crazy. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was a lot of fun, very nostalgic because I just felt like, man, I remember how I felt when I watched this scene, or how I took this scene so serious. And it's meant for laughs, but in my mind I think, oh my God, they've got Princess Vespa. Like, long story, we got to get her back. So
are you thinking at the end too when we're doing aliens and there's the chest burst?
That scared the shit out of me as a kid.
It scared me too.
Yeah, because I didn't know what it was.
I didn't
doing.
know. I didn't know what it was parodying.
Oh my
either.
God, this guy's got something coming out of his stomach because he ate the special.
Yeah.
And I took it seriously, and then it just starts singing "Hello, my baby." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I just thought it was creepy as hell.
Yeah.
And of course, when Kane, I'll just call him Kane, is coughing up food, like, oh my God, he's gonna throw up, and then the alien bursts out of his chest, and John Hurt is like, oh God, not again. I was like, what does that mean? I thought they were post office workers. The way they're dressed at the counter, I thought the girl that's kind of standing in for the Ripley character, I thought she was a post office worker. I thought they all worked for the post office.
Yeah, well, because you think about it too. Who else are you seeing wearing similar colors?
Yeah, and I
go back to Cheers.
Yeah. So it was just fun to relive like moments of like wanting to, how I felt like with the lightsaber fight with the Schwartzes, thinking that was such a serious fight as a kid.
Yeah, I haven't watched Spaceballs.
It's fun.
It came on TV all the fucking time.
Yeah, I remember I think when we moved to Fairlawn on Fox, they were doing like a back-to-back double feature, I think on a Sunday night. And it was The Princess Bride followed by Spaceballs, and it was the first time I saw any hint of The Princess Bride. Like the promo was for The Princess Bride, like seeing Andre slam Wesley into the rock. Like, what is this movie? That's Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
But I didn't give a shit. I want Spaceballs.
No.
About maybe 6 months later, we rented The Princess Bride, and
amazing
history
film.
after that.
Yeah, I'll see if I try to watch anything tonight. I guess real quick too, I'll talk about it because it's on Peacock now, and people were kind of making a big stink about it because the budget was so small and it made a lot of money. So now Hollywood's got those dollar signs in their eyes. It's like, yeah, let's run this into the ground. But I watched the horror film Obsession, and to me, it was just okay. Like the basic premise has a lot of promise, but I don't know if it's because of the budget or just strictly that's how it was written. But I thought most of the dialogue not that great, and it has pacing issues. The whole time I'm like, this movie does not need to be an hour and 49 minutes. I think it easily could have been 88 or 80 and worked just as well, make it snappier. Would have shifted some of the plot points earlier in the movie to really set the precedence. I would have changed some things around. And I think that mentality now with that is kind of stemmed from this and doing these where we're doing makeovers and having to think about like storytelling and how things I feel like should flow and go. So when I'm watching something like that and I see certain things and they do something else later on, I'm like, yeah, well, if you would have taken this and positioned this here and like done this way. So I'm sure Emily was very annoyed with me kind of saying
She's
some
like,
of that
look
stuff.
Look at this face, Nathan. Does it look like it cares?
Yeah. Saying all that stuff out loud because I'm like, I don't like that. I think she's like, I just want to watch the damn movie. But that's how it goes. So yeah, we'll see how that mentality goes when I watch Masters of the Universe. Probably next weekend. If it drops this Tuesday, I will watch it the following weekend because I'm gonna make sure she sits and watches it with me.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna have to have some sort of support system there. To take. I
thought that's what the booze was for.
Well, I mean that helps, but having a person there helps too. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, and I'll have thoughts for that soon enough, hopefully. So we'll see how that shakes out. But I'm gonna read some more comics this week. Probably some more Booster Gold. Finish out that 2007 run since I read the 80s run. Love that a lot. Once again, I see this character. You can make a TV show out of this. And he has the funny stuff in it too that you could weave in, and it wouldn't seem out of place.
Well, that's a character I feel like that's written from the ground up. Like that's not a character that's written like Batman, and someone decides, hey, get James Gunn, make him quirky and a misfit.
Yeah, I agree. So I got the I bought his figure from Justice League International DC Direct. He's
What
standing
about
there
like
with
the
this-
Marvel? What about like not Marvel, the DC series that Mattel put out back in the 2000s? That really beautiful line that was done.
Oh, you're talking about the DC Universe Classics?
Yes,
line?
yeah.
That was kind of going around the same time as the Master Universe Classics line.
Yeah.
Was? Yeah, I have Booster Gold in that.
Okay, yeah. God, that was a beautiful line that they did.
Yeah, Mattel was kind of firing on all cylinders around that point in time.
Yeah, that was I mean, the Green Arrow, the Batman Beyond they put out with that line, the Batman like, with the '89 costume, like oh my God, yeah, it was good stuff, man.
Yeah, good. Don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this episode, man. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button. Leave us a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Number one, just on the Filmation episode Temple of the Sun. Is it warranted of anything higher than a 5 out of 10? Are you crazy like James? And you're like, yeah, that was great. I really like it.
And rest assured, we will get him back, and he will be put on trial for this shit.
Yeah, we're definitely asking him about that next time he's here on the show. But let us know your thoughts on all that stuff. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And until later, let the power return.
Are you the ones getting married? No, then get over there.
Is this Spaceballs?
Yeah.
It is? Okay. I'm trying to think of because it's been so long since I watched it too, because there is at one point where she is wearing a wedding dress, right?
There's 2 points in the movie. I mean, she's wearing her wedding dress pretty much throughout the entire movie.
Throughout the thing, but doesn't it like it gets ripped at some point, right? Like the sleeves are off of it or something? Or
well, like as the movie progresses, like, you know, it starts, you know, it becomes where it's just scraps of a wedding dress, and then she's wearing the full wedding dress again at the end of the movie.
Was that like at the beginning?
No, this is at the end.
God, is Spaceball streaming somewhere? Let's check.
I have no idea.
You bought 4K, I'm assuming?
No, but I definitely want to, because it's like $21 on Amazon with the classic VHS cover.
Oh, you got to have MGM Plus to watch it. All right. No, maybe I'll just buy the 4K eventually too.
I mean, we both have Amazon Prime now, so you know, just why not take advantage of that?
I mean, I've had Amazon Prime.
I know. I'm saying we both now have it. You know, like I've only had it for maybe about 6 months, maybe.
Yeah.
So it is nice. So
yeah. You get shit faster, and you can go watch some of the streaming shit they got if you want.
Which I not done any of that. I just buy stuff.
Master Universe is on there on Prime Video as well to watch. If you don't want to watch on YouTube and you got Prime Video, that would be, I guess, mostly ad free in that regard, or definitely probably not as many ads as YouTube would have.
I just watch on YouTube because I have the YouTube.
Yeah, I have premium as well because.
But I also have it in my movies that I purchased off iTunes over the years.
Yeah.
So I can. Believe me, if I want to watch that movie, I will be able to watch that movie.
It's with you anywhere
anywhere and everywhere. I will be able to watch the live action movie at any time.
Well, I was talking about the animated series Filmation stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, I even bought some of those on iTunes before they were all uploaded on YouTube. You know?
Yeah, like Temple of the Sun, right?
Oh yeah, I'd rather stare at my butthole.
I couldn't think of a better way to end this one. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks for your time, everybody.
Enjoying your meal? How about you, son? Is it good? And you, ma'am? How's the food? I think we have a critic.